Among my friends, I was known as a fast talker. I would find myself rambling on and making sure I squeeze in all my thoughts, and in fear of someone interrupting me, jam my words in each other, much like that. Last semester, I wanted to change this habit. I sought out the advice of Professor Barbara Tannenbaum, who told me simply to pause. She said, "Let a breath in between your thoughts. Allow the words to sink in." It felt like a foreign concept, but I finally understand what she meant to pause. We all do. The pandemic put our lives on pause. A pause on our theater productions, sports games, and club events. A pause on our catered kebab and curry. A pause on knocking on our friends' dorm rooms across the hall to study, only to end up talking until 2 a.m. Many of us spent that spring semester scattered across the world. We reminisced about life before the pandemic with a newfound and profound appreciation for our brown community. For me, cherishing the past isn't the same as dwelling within it. Rather, it's a way we pause and remember the forces that brought us here. One of these forces for me was being raised by an immigrant family where the destination was quite literally the goal. My mother spent years trying to secure a visa, and when she finally did, it meant leaving her hometown Tianjin to move to Houston, Texas, with only a couple of $100s to her name. Making it in America was always the goal, because her survival depended on it. A few years later, she raised me with the same hustle mentality. 不怕慢，就怕停. Don't be afraid of going slowly, she said. Be afraid of pausing. We climb the ranks of our extracurriculars. We pursue internships we hope will lead to full-time offers. And rarely do we take the chance to pause. I understand, we're brown students, and we want to change the world with our limited time here. But stepping back, I realized I couldn't keep chasing ambitions without a sense of purpose. I thought of that proverb my mother had always preached, but this time I asked, what if, in fear of pausing, I was trying to fulfill a dream that was not my own? At first, my parents wanted me to pursue a degree in computer science for financial stability. But every week, no matter how tired or stressed I was, what I looked forward to the most were my workshops in advanced fiction. It felt like nothing was worth compromising my dreams of being a writer. It took time and reflection to develop my purpose, to know what I wanted to do, to dedicate myself, and later to become a professional writer. But first, it took a pause. I read this quote that said, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Without pausing, we risk our lives conforming to expectations. We risk never fully understanding why we do the things we do. We risk never challenging our preconceived notions and envisioning a life beyond our imagined scope. For as much as a pause helps us remember the past, it also allows us to pay attention to the present and to ask ourselves, is this what we really want? I remember the outcries and mobilization against racial violence and xenophobia during the pandemic. Perhaps when the world was on pause, we collectively had the time to confront social injustices and personal biases. Is this what we really want? Equipped with our education and the people around us, we have the privilege of directing our lives toward the right answers. I also want to affirm, pausing is scary. It's scary to turn away from distractions like social media. Scary to reckon with all the voices telling us how we're supposed to be. Scary to listen to ourselves when we're habituated to follow others. But a pause is as necessary as it is scary. What answers will we find in the stillness? In my role as a journalist, I feared moments of pause. In my interviews, I would formulate a long list of questions just in case. Yet, what I witnessed was that in my silence, my subjects would reassess their first instincts. They would reveal details that were more honest and vulnerable. What if, like them, we gave ourselves the benefit of the pause to know ourselves? Standing before our illustrious class, I'm struck by the stroke of chance that brought us all together. To not only have reached this destination, but also to have spent 4 of our most important years together. It takes a collective moment like this to pause and realize the magnitude of this day. So here we pause to celebrate. In the audience, I see friends, and shout out to my friends, peers, and special teachers, and I'm honored to have shared our Brown experience. All of you make up the brightest, most talented, and most ambitious people I've ever known. Looking out from the stage, I see leaders with the courage to look to the future. I have not a single doubt that beyond the gates, each of us will make a difference in this world. Let us pause to ask ourselves what kind of difference it will be. Let us pause to realize how we want to live. Let us pause to hold on tightly to our visions, knowing that we have each shaped Brown's history. The past has strengthened us, and the future awaits all of our ambitions. And as we feel our tassels rest against our caps, and the knowledge we've accrued stir within us, let us, for now, for the final time, together, relish the pause. Congratulations, class of 2022.